right, welcome to Primos for Life, the wrestling podcast made for the fans, by the fans. Como siempre, yo soy Eddie, el niño vaque. We got Ariel, the Ecuadorian dream bisueta, and we are your self-proclaimed, undisputed co-host tag team champions of the world. And tonight's episode, we jump into Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, post Wrestlemania 41. Ariel and I discussed all the highlights and what we think is in store for the new WWE wrestling season. So, como siempre, sit back, grab a snack, and let's get it on. Welcome to Monday Night Raw. Throwback, right?
No, I mean, I just wasn't expecting that particular way to go, but yeah.
Gotta switch it up, you know?
Yeah, keep them guessing, on their toes.
Exactly.
Dig it. What's going on, man? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, brother. Just, excited to talk about Raw and SmackDown post-Mania. You know, those shows are usually always exciting because there's always somebody returning, somebody debuting, surprises, and things like that. And I feel like both episodes really, showcase that. But before we jump in, I want to take this opportunity to go ahead and just thank our listeners. And the reason why this one's like extra special because, I feel like in editing and viewing everything that we have done so far as a podcast, we have grown and we have evolved every single time. Like if you go to episode 2, I started watching it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cringe. Did we really start this way? You know what I mean? But now.
Well, I still can't believe you released the first episode where I was hoarse as can be. Like, I tell people who listen to the podcast, I'm like, don't start with the pilot episode.
Yeah.
Because I was coming off being sick. Like, please do not do that. But sorry, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but you're right. But I mean, but that just shows how excited and how passionate we are to, do this. And then now so much growth, so much, again, we have evolved. Production's gotten better. Lighting, has gotten better. And just
ring lights. God love a ring light.
Look at that. That's what I'm saying. And then also like, just social media presence. I mean, it's just so much more exposure via Instagram, via TikTok now. And also, just so much feedback and such good, positive things. People are excited. They're like, we saw your Primos for Life shirt. We'd want one, like, what are you guys going to talk about next? When are we going to get that going? And it's just all the love and support that all our listeners have provided, all the feedback, everything. I just, from the bottom of our hearts, from the Primos to you guys, the family, everybody's family at this point, thank you so much, guys, because without, like, you guys are the reason why we keep going, and there are days where like, oh man, we got life happening and vacations and this and that, but we're just like, no, but we got to make time for the pod. People are asking. Yeah. People want to know. Yeah. People want more.
People want more, and we also want to stay fresh in everybody's mind. We know how quick things can turn and how people could lose interest in something. So in that same vein, I want to agree with you 1,000,000,000%. Thank you, everybody, wholeheartedly for everything that you've done, listening, liking, following, sharing. Everything is, we wouldn't be here for now, however long we've been doing this. And it's not saying that we've done it a long amount of time, but
4 months.
The fact that both of us are still here and excited to do it and amped and, you guys still listen, and that's amazing. So thank you. It's amazing. It's a blessing, and we can't thank you enough. And we're just going to keep trying to come out here and put on some entertaining stuff, and hope that you just, once again, enjoy the ride.
Exactly. And then one last thing, and then we'll jump into it. And just the presence, right? Like, a buddy of mine was like, hey, if you start this podcast, do you care who listens? And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't, because at the end of the day, I'm having a great conversation with my cousin and we love wrestling, and that's it. And he's like, well, if you're doing it for 1, if you're doing it for 10, if you're doing it for 100 or 1,000 people, it should all still be the same. And I was like, you're absolutely right. So shout outs to Bacon for that one, my buddy Bacon. Really cool to, spark that little, fire that we have now, right? And then also just, again, the presence, right? Like, I was looking at the Spotify and like it'll tell you like location of people like listening. Bro, we have a presence in Brazil, we have a presence in Japan, we have a presence in Russia. A little scary, but you know, but like, but at the end of the day, it's like
Japan. I know who Japan was.
yeah, for real.
No, Japan was my homie. Shout out, Pretty Boy. Shout out, Mark
Oh, there you
APD.
go.
Shout out, homie. He was in Japan on vacay, and he was like, "Yo, I'm checking out the podcast." And I'm like, "All right, cool. We
Yeah, let's
we in
go.
Japan. I'll take
Well,
it." So thank you,
just
Mark.
gave us
Thank you.
yeah, it just gave us a presence there. But overall, again, thank you guys so much, and we're ready to bring it on. Let's
Yeah,
get it, Primo.
yeah. There was. Yeah, I just once again, I just want to piggyback on what you're saying. It was everything is absolutely fantastic, and that was a point I wanted to make, and I lost it. But once again, thank you, everybody. Just we can't thank you enough. It's amazing that you guys are still listening. Like it's great.
Yeah. All right. Now back to Monday Night Raw. Straight out of Las Vegas, Nevada, post WrestleMania. It only makes sense to still stay in the city one more night just to extend.
Right. I mean, what are you gonna do? You gonna pack everything up and haul ass across state lines or something? No, we staying right here.
Yeah.
Which is funny because a buddy of mine went to night 2, and then he stayed for the next day. And I'm like, of course, that's the move. Like you're not gonna fly out there and then just dip at the end. He's like, nah.
Exactly. No, agreed. And we start off the night with a recap video package of the actual WrestleMania weekend, showing you all the highlights from the Hall of Fame to night 1 to night 2 to just everything that went on through the weekend. Awesome video package. Very excited for those that were able to enjoy it in person. Looked like a good time, especially as Vegas. There was just so many things to do. You could party with them afterwards, WWE After Dark. And then same thing with the roast of Tony Hinchcliffe and just so many things that the fans were able to engage with. I'm telling you, Triple H is a genius for just making an invasion a week long for these fans. So, tops to them because they really know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta maximize and capitalize on every opportunity that you get. So this is someone who's learned from the smallest stages of being a professional wrestler, getting there, eventually marrying, of course, Stephanie, and then being able to be brought behind the scenes more. And so someone who understands it with a different kind of a mindset. So yeah, great. It's been fantastic. And as we're going to touch on in both these Raw and SmackDown recaps, I mean, just you thought Mania was good. I mean, the hits don't stop. I mean, we had 2 solid episodes. It was great. And so yeah, so we start out with your boy.
Yeah. Well, actually, to that point that you just made, right? That's one thing that the beginning of the show made me realize is that as soon as the recap was over and everybody's walking in style, it's like these guys just finished doing their version of the Super Bowl. They just completed, and there is no off season for them. They just go right back at it the next day. And the fact that all the wrestlers that were involved in matches over the weekends, most of them have a match or a rematch or whatever on this, on the Monday Night Raw that we're going to discuss and on SmackDown, and it's just wild. So
or they had at least had an appearance, but they were involved. Then and like you said, there is no off season for them, until they get time off, or unfortunately they get hurt and can't be there. But the problem is in getting hurt and taking time off is someone's always going to be pushed in that spot.
Yes.
So you're very, reluctant sometimes, from what I've heard and read in interviews with different wrestlers and things along those lines. Very, reluctant to. That's why they play hurt as much as they do. That's why they don't show the injuries and stuff like that. So
yeah. But like you said, my boy opens up the show. John Cena comes out.
All black shirt, John Cena.
John Cena, and then he comes out and he tells the ring announcer, "Hey, you got to give me a better intro than that. Respect me."
And I appreciate this from a heel aspect, but I'm just like, okay.
No, I loved it.
I love it. But now I'm like, and I appreciate the John Cena heel turn. Love it. I think we're going we're full throttling this motherfucker. I think like coming out and being like, give me the rest. Like it's like I understand it, but like simmer it down just a little bit, and then in like 2-3 weeks you get grandiose like that, where like you start being more boastful just because you were you with the heel turn is different, so everyone's trying to get used to that anyway, and now I think you're just kind of like so, but that's personally me.
Yeah, no, I like
Now
it.
it works. I'm telling you, it works. It was absolutely
Oh
fantastic.
yeah,
I said I love it, but how you and I always say, for storytelling purposes and for comfortability with what we would like to see, that's me. And once again, personal
no,
choice.
yeah, no, that's all you, bro. Because I loved every second of it. I love that he's a jerk. I love that he's just like, I'm here to like destroy. Well, not necessarily destroy history, but take history with him. And I just love that entire aspect of it because it's like he's putting the company in a position where it's like, yeah, no, if I take this belt with me, you guys have to start from day one. Like I take the history of Bruno Sammartino, Stone Cold, or Eddie Guerrero, all these people that held this title, like it all ends and dies with me. Like that's some Thanos heel if I ever
Yeah,
heard one, man.
that's what, which is why I like. Yeah, I dig. Like I said, I dig what they're doing. I understand, like, the announcer thing was what got me, but I love the whole promo like aspect of it. Of like, yeah, this is done. I'm finishing it. I'm the guy. So I'm walking out of here, taking my ball and going home. Like, absolutely fantastic. Thought it was absolutely great coming out and just being like, once again, put the number on the board.
Yes,
The
I love
numbers,
that. That was so
36. He's
good.
like, appearances, not matches.
Not matches.
I just have to come out here and do this. So all I
Yep.
have to do.
He's like, I don't even need to wrestle because I just have to show up. And I'm just
Exactly.
like,
I just have to come out here and do this
yes.
and just talk. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, 32 left. And I'm like, yeah, okay, makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
complete utter sense. Which I mean, when showing that number makes you think, or makes you ponder how long they plan on keeping the belt on him.
Yeah.
Because at some point you do have to bring him back face before he exits the game.
Yeah, for sure. But hey, winners write histories. So John goes on his spiel. John says that the fans don't mean anything to him. And again, even if he can't wrestle, he doesn't have to because he just has to show up. And then again, going back, John is planning to take the history with him that is attached to the belt. And then he tells everybody that, you know what, though, he's still a nice guy. Everybody, take out your cameras because this is the last real champion you'll ever see. And then out of nowhere, Randy Orton comes out.
Loved it. Kind of upset a little bit on it. I'm not gonna lie.
What, too soon? Is that why?
Too soon. I think it's too soon. I think because they've been hyping it up, especially now in just the past couple between the two episodes. And I'm like, yes, there is that much history between them. This should be something that happens, but it should be down the line toward the end. I understand Cody's out for a little while, so you have to find somebody. Orton being Cody's homie is a great storyline replacement as well, but I think too soon. Once again, I love the out of nowhere, the RKO. It was great. It was perfect. Like you're watching Cena in a very Edge and Christian moment. For the benefit of those with flash photography. Like he's like, yeah, like here it is, me with the belt. I think it was very great. And then you could kind of see as he's standing there, like people behind start moving, and I'm like, oh, and then you see just Orton pop up over his shoulder, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I was like, too soon, but then he hit him, and I'm like, well, now I'm along for the ride because I have to be. There's no other choice. There's no other choice. So, but dig it. I mean, they have to do it. Randy's a great competitor. I think Backlash is so soon, and unless you have this match end in some kind of disqualification or something like that, I don't want to see Randy take the L this quick on that. I don't know. I think you could have built more with these two, just based on history alone.
Yeah. Well, who's to say that it doesn't circle back around? You know what I mean? Because this is just planting the seed of showing his dominance, right? Of showing John's heelish dominance, right? Then he goes down the line, beats everybody else, or cheats to beat everybody else. And then the redeeming factor is like, oh no, like I'm gonna take another swing at this again. And then Randy not only beats him, but could be the one to, get the belt, at that point for a little bit.
Yeah. And then once again, especially what we've learned recently with Triple H, absolutely anything is in play. So that I don't rule that out, but I think I think you could have just did this in a long, slow play, much bigger build for the history these two guys have. Orton said it. 25 years. We've been here. I've known you 25 years. Like Orton's, probably my age, not younger than me. He's known him more than half his life. Yeah. Like that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, for sure. But before we move on to the next segment, anything else that I missed or that we missed there?
Nope, nothing that I can recall. I want to make sure I get everything. Yeah, no, Cena was Cena was good, you know, with just talking smack to the fans and stuff, and then he had some great stuff on SmackDown. But we'll talk about that one on SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, no, we can move on to the next match, which if I recall correctly is Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch versus Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
Now this is when we were doing the recap for Mania. I said I wanted to put a pin in this one.
Yeah.
Because of this. Because this is what bothered me. Becky Lynch coming back to win. Only to drop the belts the next night to the same team. To then turn on Lyra Valkyria. Okay, here's what I think you could have done. Because I'm assuming Bayley's not really hurt. You know, I'm assuming she's because Becky wanted in or whatever it may be. Whatever. What bothers me is if you were going to do all this, I feel like there was no need to do all of this. If you were just going to put the belts back on Liv and Raquel. You have the same match happen. And then you have Becky Lynch come out and cost Lyra Valkyria and Bayley, but turn on Lyra. So this storyline that's currently happening is happening there anyway. You don't take the belts off the other girls. Bayley's still involved and doesn't get shafted. Becky Lynch still gets the heel turn and her Mania moment. This is what bothered me when I saw this match.
Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree. I loved this match and I hated this match. I loved it because to me, Liv and Raquel should have won and should have had the belts to begin with.
Yep.
What made me dislike this whole thing is like what I told you about the post conference that if you're trying to build up Lyra, Becky Lynch took too much away from her. And then now with this whole turning on situation, it's like, well, what are we really doing here? You know what I mean? It's like now I feel like there's just too many heels now, and like we don't need them.
Yeah, we're just so many cogs in this wheel that are just. But I think this might be an interesting heel turn moving forward for her because there's so many opportunities now with, like I said, so many moving heel pieces that is just like. But I once again, to me, it was a loss on the Liv and Raquel's thing. What you do is you do give them the 4th championship that they've held. So I understand putting a number on them, fine. But I just think this could have been done cleaner and still saving everything. Because if for any reason Bayley is annoyed that she lost her spot or anything like that, then all of that could have been avoided with simply thinking of what I wrote. And that's, once again, simple man's writing, and I'm not trying to tell anyone how to do their job at all. This is opinion-based. I just think for where we ended up, you could have done that cleaner and still had a good match and had just a bigger pop for Becky Lynch returning, thinking she was going to help, and then bang, costing Lyra and Bayley the match.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't too fond of this. I was very happy that they got the belts back, though. But again, very, very messy. But then again, like you said, going back to your other point with Triple H running things, we may hate it now, but it may pay off bigger and better later on. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see on that. But right now, we're not really too crazy about that. I'm glad that we're on the same page for that.
Yeah.
Then after that, we get more WrestleMania replays. Really cool package, fun stuff like that. And then your boys, the New Day, come out to brag about being heels and being the greatest tag team ever, and that we better thank God that for the New Day.
That's right.
And
we better. Everybody better. All y'all listening better right now.
Yeah.
You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna give y'all a second to do it. Okay, done. No, this was great. And the one thing I do love, I mean, like I said, I love the new swag and stuff, and I love that Kofi looks like Swerve Strickland light. Like he looks like when he had that big pink fur and everything, and I'm like, oh, Swerve, who is just emaciated. Oh no, that's Kofi. Oh, sweet. No, it was great. No, it was fantastic, and it was awesome. And then to have Otis and Tozawa and Maxine Dupree come out, and then Maxine, good mic work. She had some attitude on, and I was like, okay, good. She's not playing that like, just damsel or whatever. I was like, great. And then the point of all of this was to have the big man in the ring for the return of the one and only Rusev. It's Rusev Day,
which I was super hyped for. But my only note is, why didn't we just get the old music back? I know he's coming back as a new thing, but I was like, I feel like the crowd would have popped more. I mean, don't get me wrong, they popped when they saw his name. Because
Right.
everybody's like, who is this?
Yeah,
But
with-
if we would have heard the Rusev Muchkria, Rusev Machka, I would have been like, oh.
No, you got to separate from that. That's when he was with the X and stuff like that. You want a clean start, man. No,
Yeah.
man. New stuff, new day, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Like, so, but it was great. I knew he was coming back, was waiting for the return, especially because with what happened the night before, where you said, the Randy Orton Open, you thought Joe Hendry was going to be Rusev.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was great. Bring him out, takes down Otis, the big man, and, just kind of
poor Alpha Babes.
establishes dominance, and then they cut and we roll out. And I thought, great way to bring it back, and awesome and cool.
Yeah, great way to put everybody on notice that Rusev is back. He looks good. He looks cut. Ready to see what he's going to be able to do going forward as the new season of wrestling starts at the WWE. And then we roll into the Judgment Day segment where they are celebrated Dominic's, championship gold, and everybody's happy. But then, tension starts brewing when Finn walks into the room, and then Liv is like, well, before Liv comes in, Finn is looking at the belt and looking at Dom, and then Liv is like, well, we said, a win for whoever wins it is a win for Judgment Day. So isn't that what we're about? Isn't that? And then we get what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And I'm like, you're still in Vegas though, bro.
What are we doing? It's all still here.
Yeah. So
you didn't pack. Relax.
Yeah, exactly. But good segment. But then at the end of that segment, you see Finn still eyeing the championship, which means eventually we're going to get the Finn heel.
As we've seen with what he did with Damian Priest.
Exactly.
It's just a matter of time. He's going to bide his time. He's going to wait. And then he's going to turn. And it's going to be, when Dom least suspect it, and it'll be great. But storytelling at its finest.
Exactly. But then we get to the favorite part of my favorite part of the night, rather, is Io Sky coming out to celebrate, and strut around her championship victory over, Bianca and Rhea. And out of nowhere, we get my NXT favorite, Stephanie Vaquer.
Your NXT booth thing. I don't know. You heard Jada Parker. See, you have a problem there.
No. I'm just a fan, and that is all I am.
Don't lie to me. Whatever.
Well, anyway, she comes out and basically saying, hey, you're the best, and I'm the best because I'm la primera. So let's get it on. And they do. And it's
in true Io style, Io accepts the challenge.
Yeah, because that's what a fighting champion does.
My boo thing. It's my boo thing. Yes, do it, girl. Do it. I was excited. And once again, another banger of a match after what I still probably think is the best match of both nights of WrestleMania was that women's triple threat match.
Yeah.
Another fantastic match. Stephanie Vaquer she's amazing. Io is just fantastic. Great match. All the way through. Really, really dope.
Yeah. Well, not all the way through, because then what ends up happening is
until
Roxanne Perez and Julia come out and attack both Stephanie and Io, which really saves both champions, right? Because we didn't want
no one loses face.
Exactly. And nobody wants to pick sides early yet, because we definitely want to see this again at a pay-per-view or PLE or some special event. Yeah.
Somewhere. Because it's going to be just as amazing, if not better.
Exactly.
Well, because it's not going to end in the interference. And
right.
Roxanne come out, and then Julia come out, and then they start beating up on Io, and then all of a sudden, this is my brutality, and out comes mommy. And she comes out, and it was interesting to watch when she gets to the ring. She looked over at Io and then looked at whatever, and you could see her verbalize, "Oh, you think you can hit my homegirl or my friend or something like that?" And I was like, "Oh, look at that! She's really oh, we're I'm cool with her. You're the new chick here. Screw you." And then she just went in and threw Roxanne Perez over the top, and then Julia just walked out before anything got crazy.
No gracias.
Right.
And then ultimately picking up the belt and giving it back to Io and saying, "Hey,
I'm coming for this.
Still
coming for this." And I don't mind. And I don't mind it because it's right now it's on there on Raw. The women's division is still, I don't want to say light, but it's still, there's 3 major heavy hitters, and then step down. So I think they're going to start doing more, and because Bianca's going to go back to SmackDown full time, so she's not going to be involved in that. So I think they're going to start, which is why Julian Perez came and did what they did. So
yeah,
should be great. Should be good. No, dig it.
yeah. And then we finally get the reveal of probably the dopest shirt that I've seen on WWE.com with Jey Uso coming out to celebrate his World Heavy Yeet Championship win. Man, that shirt is dope. I like it.
Heavy Yeet. Yeah. My buddy Steve, he hit me up. He's like, "What do you want any shirts from?" Probably because he went on Sunday and Monday, and he's like, "Do you want anything?" And I was like, "First, the Penta shirts." He's like, "Oh, small and medium." I didn't know they had that heavy Yeet shirt, because if they did, I would have been like, "Pick me up one of those," and I would have sent it to you, and I'd have got it for you and just sent it to you.
It's a thought that counts, man. I appreciate
I mean, had I known that they were like that was there, because then you were like, "Oh, that shit is dope," and I was like, "Man,
it's so tough. It's so
like,
good.
I wish I'd have known." But yeah, no, it was great, and it was once again a moment to celebrate the new champion.
Yeah.
Jey Uso. I mean, it was great. You know, came out and Sami Zayn's music hits, and you start thinking like, "Oh, no.
Yes, heel turn."
Like, is this where like we're starting it already? Okay, yes. Like, and I get it. Like, you got to do it. And then I'm like, it gets a night off. And then Sami was extremely complimentary the entire way through, and I'm like, okay, where's the turn? And it never did. And he had some very poignant, great stories and moments, and was like, and enough about me, like how this made me feel. Like, this is about you. And then to walk out, and then Jimmy coming out also.
And they were like, "Oh no, is it gonna be him?"
Like, yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh no. And then like just to watch all three of them walking to the back together, I was like, bullet dodged. I'll take that. Jey Uso deserves this. Sami Zayn and Jimmy, sure, we're very happy to do it for him. And I thought it was a great segment, great moment. Let this man roll into his championship era.
Exactly. And then we roll into Logan Paul talking about his win and saying, "Oh, but like, you think you still would have gotten the win if you didn't cheat?" And he's like, "What are you talking about? A win's a win. I'm the greatest. This and that. You know, typical."
What are you saying, Kathy? What are you saying?
Yeah, right. Like typical Logan Paul stuff. But then we switch over to AJ Styles talking about his loss against him, how he's not happy about it. But then Karrion Kross jumps in. And more mind games. We're just like, what? Okay,
the push for Karrion is coming, man. It has to be. You can't keep doing these things, man. It's time. Just do it. Let's just do it. And it's starting. It's starting with the dawn of the new wrestling year.
Yeah, exactly. And then pretty cool segment. But then we get a little verbal preview by Michael Cole about the new Netflix docu-series called WWE Unreal, which they go back to the writer's room, which I'm actually excited to like watch, and we should probably talk about that when it will.
Yeah, I am excited too. I wonder at what point we get too far behind the curtain.
Yeah, no, we
I want to always be surprised. You know, like, and that's the thing is I'm no wrestling expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just a fan for, my life. But I think it's like breaking it down the way I already do to watch something like this is just, my mind is naturally just going to dissect it more and more and more and more. So my fear is, and I'm going to watch it, of course, but my fear is getting into it is just going to be like, I'm breaking everything down now. I must get to the bottom, like peel back this onion. But yeah, no, can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, like you don't want to know how the sausage is made. Like, is that what it is?
I mean, no. I worry that it's just not this. I mean, it's a great analogy. The sausage being made, with the exception of the fact that, I mean, I'll eat the sausage either way, and I'll watch wrestling either way. But it's just, I'm not trying to figure out the sausage. I'm trying to figure out the storyline in wrestling.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. The sausage is going down no matter what. That's happening. But I'll try to break down the way to write the story. So, but that's what it is. But no, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be, like I said, I'm going to watch it. It's not like I'm not going to watch it. So, but no, it should be good television viewing. And then is that when your homie the Ring General comes out, Walter at his finest.
Yeah, well, basically we get a preview of Dom getting ready because Penta and Dom coming up for Intercontinental Championship match already. No nights off, right? But then yes, Gunther comes out and is yelling at Michael Cole and Pat McAfee, talking about how he tapped out, and Michael's like, "What? What's the problem? You tapped out." And then he goes for Michael Cole, and then good for Pat McAfee to like go into his defense, but man, didn't he pay for it because he got choked out. And good job
Yeah.
on his choke out, like, whole scene, because he was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like all the way to
Yeah.
the back. And it was
Yeah. Well, I mean,
fantastic.
he got red faced and everything,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
great. And it was like, okay, cool. But then the coughing and everything, I'm like, I'm a man.
Yeah. Calm down.
Slow down. And then like his homies who were sitting in the front row, like all jumped the railing and
Like,
they're being held like by security. And I'm like, yes, these security guys who can't hold back for anybody, like all of a sudden are holding back 5 dudes. I'm like, get out of here. But no, fun segment. And then they bring out Joe Tessitore and of course Michael Cole with his I'm not gonna let a bully not let me do my job. And
I was like,
yes, Michael Cole, stand your ground. Bullies will never win. Like this is a very PSA moment for the kids. Like I'm not gonna let a bully stop me. And then Tessitore coming out and we come out here, we do our job, and we give our opinions. We should not be, physically assaulted. And it's a great, fun, cool, good way to keep Walter as a heel. And I'm gonna keep calling him Walter now because I want to. Good way to keep him as a heel without involving him and going back after Jay had that nice moment. Like, cool, great, nicely done.
Yeah. And then you hear the crowd go, Michael Cole, and I popped too. I was like, Michael Cole, baby.
Michael Cole, baby.
So I was happy with it.
Nice,
And then we jump into the actual match between Penta versus Dom. Really solid match as always. These two really know how to bring it. We get Finn out here trying to help, but seems to be more troublesome and do more harm to Dom and all that. But then we get the return of JD McDonough. And he ultimately ends up helping the Judgment Day for the greater good. And Finn is like happy and excited, but like shocked to see him. But just adding more fuel to
but Dom's not. Dom was very happy to see him, and JD was very happy to hug Dom, and like Finn was the only one that had a problem because the implosion's coming, or at least the Finn walking out. JD was good to see him after taking that shot that he took off the announcer's desk and cracking a rib and puncturing a lung or whatever happened to him. Once again, I'm sorry to not know exactly what it was, but I just remember it not being good. So Penta took the loss, stinks, but didn't take it clean. Once again, he hasn't taken any real clean losses that didn't involve some kind of craziness. But yeah, no, it's good. Great. Good match. Dom getting over and then putting stuff in on the Judgment Day. Like, let's do it.
Yeah. And then my favorite video package comes up next. It's El Grande Americano Victory video package, where we see him kissing babies and, celebrating with, everybody in the villages and back in his small town, and now is deemed
in his pueblo,
greatest luchador of all time.
Yes. In his pueblo of like Grand Rapids, Michigan, or wherever Gable's from.
Loved every bit of it. Loved it.
No, it was great. It was good. It was awesome. Dig it.
Yes. And then finally, the final segment of the night, which was pretty darn exciting because we get Seth Rollins comes out with the matching Paul Heyman with his tie and his little handkerchief.
Now he's all yellow. It's so wonderful. He met your boy. Like, great. No, cool. Awesome. Bring him out. Get ready to run his mouth. Then bang, living color hits. And Punk comes down. All business. Comes down. Throws a couple shots to Seth. Looks like he's going after Paul. After Heyman.
Yeah.
Then Seth saves him.
Stomps Punk. And then
puts a whooping on him, stomps Punk. Right.
But then wait. Here's the swerve, right? Because then we see roll credits. Paul Levesque, executive producer Paul Levesque.
Yeah, man. But the little earlier, because I said that, I was like, oh, okay, this is done. And I was like, I'm not gonna turn it off just yet. But okay. And thank God I did it.
Yeah.
It's the second time I had to thank God during this episode, because the first one was obviously that the New Day is the champions, and I'm here to watch the New Day. So I'm just, hey man, I'm just saying. But anyway, that's leaf hitting. Then all of a sudden,
and then what ends up happening there? Seth actually gets the Paul Heyman intro, right? The undisputed, the greatest superstar ever, right? But then Roman comes out to get in his face. Then comes out to spear or super punch. Did he super punch?
No, he speared Seth.
Right.
He super punched Heyman.
Yeah.
He was gonna line up to spear him again when he got speared mid spear by a hooded henchman or whatever, who reveals himself hooded figure. There you go. Who reveals himself later to be none other than Braun Breaker. So
Which-
then he turns around and he's staring at Seth Rollins, and they're looking at each other, and you're like, ooh, is Seth next? And he runs towards Seth, only to hit CM Punk, who was standing just slightly to the left of Seth. And then have Seth throw his arms around him and say, that's my guy. And we realize not only is Seth Rollins a Paul Heyman guy now, so is Braun Breaker. And he is a natural choice to be a Paul Heyman guy.
Yes. And actually, that's what I was going to jump in and say. A planted seed, man. That conversation goes back to 2003 in NXT. Paul Heyman went to NXT and had a conversation with Braun Breaker. So we're talking 2 years plus in the making for this moment. So good storytelling, man. Good storytelling.
Great. And this is also why I wanted to mention something before about Becky Lynch's heel turn. Maybe you need a female in the stable.
Oh, no.
You need a female in the stable. I'm just saying.
Maybe. But ultimately,
it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. But ultimately, Seth stomps Punk and Roman for the last time, and now this new alliance is standing tall in the ring. And now the show is actually officially over.
Yes, but no more Leaf fitting in Paul Levesque. It just ended. And I'm like, oh, crap, man. No,
it was just, it
was done, and it was great. No, I mean, it was a hell of an episode. It was a great finish. Like I said, to see the new Paul Heyman stable forming is dope. I feel bad because I'm not a real big Seth Rollins guy, but I do respect everything he does. Mm-hmm. He's getting into Braun Breaker. This is going to be good for him because he's going to learn under Heyman and Seth, and he's in the big leagues now. Like this is now it. Like this is a push. Like they brought him up really fast, put the IC belt on him twice really fast, and now they put him into this main event picture with these guys really fast. Like this is they have faith in this kid, and they should. He's fantastic. So no, great to see, really dope, fun, like just cool all the way around, just fantastic. Like I thought it was really great, really well done. Great way to have CM Punk come out and just get beaten up, torn to shreds.
Pretty much.
Roman Reigns comes out. I mean, both Roman and Punk got their shots in on Rollins. Reigns got one shot in on Heyman, but out walking tall is the new Paul Heyman stable of him, Rollins, and Breaker, and dope and exciting, and I think great. Yeah,
good way to start the new season. And that concludes Monday Night Raw. And now we jump into SmackDown.
Friday Night SmackDown.
Which basically opens up with another WrestleMania replay package, which, okay.
You have to do. I mean, it's the first episode of it after Mania. Now, at this point, next Raw would be now Overplay.
Yes, exactly. And then we get John Cena coming out again with the ring announcer intro.
All black John Cena.
Yeah, love it. It's just like John Cena in white, and everything else is just pitch black. So very nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We get the ring announcer intro again, and then before he even gets the chance to even say a word, we hear, I hear voices in my head. They come to me. They understand. They talk to me.
Amazing.
I don't know why I always do that, like Creed, like twang at the end. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Wait on, wide open.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Scott, whatever. You're
Scott Stapp, I think his name.
Whatever his name is. You take me high. Yeah. Hey, do you, man? Do Creed? Do whatever you got to do, my man. Whatever helps you sleep at night. But no, man. It's Randy Orton. I am a huge Randy Orton guy. I know I've loved Randy Orton since the Legend Killer, the Instant Classics, since all of it. Like probably when he was the youngest one before Evolution, when he was that young brash punk who made so many mistakes and took for granted what was put in front of him, and then learned. Yeah. And now truly appreciates the road he's on, and I think that's a great story. It was funny because I was Amanda, my wife, when I was watching something and it was a biography on him, and I said, if you're going to sit down and watch something with me, like watch this, because this is like the story of like the kid who was the golden boy, supposed to be given everything and was, and fumbled, and almost, lost it, and then came back and is now on the right path. And it's great. It's a great story. And so love Randy Orton. Love that he came out. thought it was kind of funny when he came out and he was just trying to appeal to John Cena's human side of, you've done more, make a wish. And I know all those kids touched you and you can't tell me they didn't. I've known you 25 years, like all that stuff. And then I was like, okay. It's funny when he was like, yeah, now you're the heel, you're the bad guy, I'm the good guy. I'm having this conversation. It's falling on deaf ears. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get through this. Let's get to the fact that we're going to do a match now, because even though I still think it's too early, let's do it. So fine. But the one thing I did love was Cena just attacking the kid and being like, your dad's a loser. Don't look at me like you're going to do something. And I was like, that's my kid. Don't look at me. Like, what are you really going to do, my man? Like, and I thought Cena would have, he just kept talking smack about the kid and everything. And I was like, Cena's a good heel. He's pulling this off quite well. I'm watching Randy just kind of like rub his mouth and not try to smile as it's happening. Genius.
Yeah, no, pretty solid. And then Randy basically tells him, oh, well, I figured out why you're tripping, because you don't have any kids. And then John goes on this rant. I was like, I've been a parent to these kids and these
you're
fans.
parent shaming me. First of all, I didn't realize parent shaming was a thing, unless you were shaming another parent about parenting, not shaming somebody into not having kids. I think it'd be a different name for that. But no, and then with a great line is, I've been busy raising all your kids this entire time. And I'm like, yes, nicely put, well done, because all these kids look up to you and all that stuff. Like, great, awesome, like, this is fantastic. I love it.
No, really cool segment. But then obviously, they scrap a little. Cena throws the title at him, punches him, then turns around, gets RKO'd, which I feel like John has been getting knocked out a lot lately.
Well, I mean, it's only been twice. And I mean, you have to kind of sell this. Like, you have to, like, the first RKO was the setup.
Right.
Great. I thought Cena was going to stand tall here, but I dig it because you're getting because now you get the shot of Orton with the belt.
Right.
And then next go around, it's not going to be easy because Backlash is in 2 weeks or a week and a half. So I feel like he'll stand tall on the next one, and then going into the match at Backlash, he'll retain or what have you. But no, I think it's you have to take his licks now, because you have such a quick turnaround to the next PLE that if he's going to win, you have to make him look human at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But that's what I mean though. Like, I feel with Randy it was twice. But I mean, I'm counting from with Cody. I feel like he got knocked out by Cody like 3 times before their match. You know what I mean? So it's just I seen John Cena laid out on the mat too much.
But who stood tall at the end?
Yeah. You're right.
You're
right.
I mean, at the end, that's what matters. It doesn't, sometimes it doesn't matter how many games you win. It's the game that you win.
Exactly.
Ask the almost perfect Patriots and my Giants about that.
Yeah. There you go. All right. And then we get the debut of Fraxium officially on the SmackDown roster. Good for them.
Frazier and Axiom. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's go.
Let's add to the tag division. Why not, right? Because, man, the way that with that TLC later at the main
event of the night, man. Yes. I think Fraxium could have easily been brought into Raw, maybe in terms of another tag team that you could have probably put somewhere. Because I do like them. I like them. But I think I mean, now SmackDown is your 3-hour show.
Yeah.
So here you have time to use more of your superstars, where now Raw being 2 and having the Seth Rollins, the CM Punks, the Dom Mysterios, the Pentas, the Rhea Ripleys, the Io Skys, 2 hours is a tight spot to have.
Yeah.
But welcome Fraxium, and they went against
I was about to say that.
Legado del Fantasma.
Yes.
And in Berto and Angel Garza, and great match, solid match. Sucks that Berto and Garza had to take the L here. I hate to see these guys taking L. As a Latino, it hurts my pride. But I understand there's somebody had to put them over. I would have probably used Pretty Deadly in this spot, or I probably would have used Pretty Deadly in this spot. But I think another loss which will build into the dissolution or the devolving of Legado del Fantasma as Berto starts to change his ways and see things wrong and things of those lines. But solid match.
Yeah, really
absolutely fantastic match. And congratulations to Fraxium on the win. Welcome to the main roster. Hopefully big things and great things for you guys.
Yeah, no, agreed. And then the next segment is Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton coming out. strutting her stuff, about her win over the greatest of all time, Charlotte Flair. But then a storm was brewing because Jade Cargill came out and was like, now that I'm done with Naomi, I'm coming for you. And then, bam, we get a match out of that. Little shaky start, but it finished. It progressed pretty well after the fact. But then,
Well, I mean, in terms of the shaky start aspect, if I might just say one thing, and then I'll
please.
let you continue. Shaky start, understood. Because if you truly think about this, if he's been around 3-4 years, Jade's been around 5-6 years, two relatively, kind of newcomers. So there might be a hiccup every now and then, but like you said, they finished strong.
Yeah.
The match ended up being a very solid match, and then I'll let you continue.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. I appreciate the perspective, but no, they go throughout the match, but then ultimately Naomi comes out to go after Jade. You're like, what? You done with me? And then starts bashing her head in and all these things. And after that distraction, Tiffy gets bulldozed by the returning Nia Jax. And now,
well, so what happened was, if I may paint a picture,
how I remember.
If I may paint a picture.
Yeah, please.
So Naomi comes in, roughs up Jade. Blah, blah, blah. Jade rolls out the ring. Naomi's standing in the ring laughing. Tiffy gets up, starts staring her down.
That's right. Yeah.
Naomi backs out the ring and is like, I don't want no part of this. I did what I had to do with her. But I'm looking at you, I'm watching you. And as Tiffy has her focus on Naomi, from behind comes the irresistible force, Nia Jax, and just, she's been out since like November, December.
Yeah.
And just drops Tiffy and hits the leg drop and just starts working her over.
Standing tall with the belt. Always. A lot of people standing tall with the belt.
Well, you guys start the new storylines, right? So there's nothing like a picture of somebody else with your property to annoy you,
No, but overall, like you said, good way to set up the night and set up everything that's, we're about to walk into going into Backlash and, probably other, pay-per-views or shows in the near future.
PLEs.
Yeah, PLEs. I'm sorry. I'm
relax, abuelito, with your pay-per-view. I'm kidding.
But and then we jump into the Solo and Jacob celebration because all champions are coming out to celebrate their accomplishments after Mania.
You have to. You won yesterday. That's the whole point.
Yeah, agreed. No, I'm not mad at it.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
But and Solo is speaking on behalf of Jacob and is saying some crazy stuff because it starts off really complimentary and nice, and it's like, and nobody wanted to take a chance on Jacob, but I believed in him, and this and that. But then it turns into, I'm the reason why he's champion. I'm the reason that this and that. And then Jacob is like, hold up, wait a minute. I said I was gonna do this.
I thought they would have played this a little while longer. Yeah. Like, because when Solo went in on it and he was like, I'm the reason. I'm like, oh, we're gonna turn this right now. I was like, okay, and then sure enough, Jacob snatches the mic from him.
Yeah, well, just setting up for the future, because ultimately we get La Noche come out,
Man, I remember when he was on Triple H's workout video. Yeah. Stop it, La Noche.
Yeah, so he pops out and he's like, I want my rematch. Yeah. But then, surprisingly, Drew McIntyre comes out. And wasn't expecting that, because I thought he was focused on bigger things, but I guess he wants the U.S. title, So.
Well, you have to explain what he said, and to his explanation as to why he wasn't going for the bigger title. What he said upon entering was that John Cena was a different person, and this John Cena was a punk, and he wants the biggest dog in the yard, the strongest dog in the yard, the best champion in the yard. And that's why he was coming after Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. So which at this point right now, Jacob is hot right now. So who wouldn't want a piece of him? So, and then here's the part that kind of aggravated me, right? Because it's almost like the Rhea situation all over again. It's like nobody respects the rematch clause, right? Like LA Knight absolutely is entitled to a rematch. And I really dislike that Nick comes out and is like, hey, I have a better idea. How about you guys come back here, put your tights on, and then, you guys could fight for the number one contendership. And in my mind, I'm like, if I was LA Knight, I'd be like, no, I am in line. Like Drew could fight someone else to try to get at this again, but I was like, whatever, man.
I'm huffing and puffing because I agree with you 150,000%. It was annoying. I was like, what are we doing here? Because we just had the same conversation with Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, where Bianca had the point of like, I won, but Rhea had just kept inserting herself so much that it was going to become an annoyance. It was going to become an issue. This is not WrestleMania. This is not something where you need the eyes and the this and that. But this was all set for the storytelling purposes, but I think still going differently because of what happens. And for those who don't know or who just want the recap, it was a very solid match, very physical match. And at one point, when the ref wasn't looking, Solo came out and hit McIntyre. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, McIntyre. No. Priest.
No,
Knight. He hit Knight and, knocked him out, whatever, cha-cha-cha. Priest was, not Priest, this guy was down. LA Knight was down for the count.
Yeah.
McIntyre, annoyed that he had got help from the bloodline. You could see it on his face, the annoyance. They got help from the bloodline, went for the Claymore. In comes Damian Priest to stop that because Priest wasn't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
McIntyre was talking smack on him before. Comes in, what is it, the South of Heaven, into the announce table, takes him down. Great. Gets into the ring. I'll let you continue.
Well, see, and that's the other thing that I didn't like about, now that you bring that up, that's the other part that I didn't like about the match, was the fact that Solo helps Drew and doesn't get caught. But then when Damian comes out, the match is over. Like it's a disqualification at that point.
Well, but this is part of the storytelling. Is now Drew gets that shot. Now LA Knight's pissed at Priest. That's why they got into the altercation afterwards. And then where they just completely got destroyed by Fatu, who stood tall over everyone because he was just like, I'm still the champ here. Yeah. And he just started beating everyone up because Drew's already laid out through a table. LA Knight and Priest were banged up. He just finished working him over, stood tall, and just held his belt, and that was great. But it's part of the storytelling because LA Knight, now you can do something with LA Knight and Priest. McIntyre's still involved. You have Fatu. You have 4 guys now here you can kind of build something with and get a good 2-3 months out of working a couple of angles with 4 very good guys to do it with.
Yeah, exactly. And I did like that Jacob stood tall overall.
Yeah. Because I mean, he's the champ, and it's time. And I love the fact that everyone is behind him. Yeah. Because I'm behind him, and I'm just like I wish. Not a lot of people were, so I could be like, hey, I was there when, but me and you have loved him since the minute he showed up. Me and you were both Jacob guys. But no, but it's great. I love him. I love him. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, but speaking of the U.S. title, now we get to a pretty awesome part of the night where Zelina Vega is set to
Queens, New York, baby.
Yeah. And gets ready to go for her match against Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green.
Wow, that's a lot of, sass on that one.
Saucy. Yeah.
And
I'm available for voiceover work, people. I'm available. I can do that. No, I'm kidding.
And then way to plug yourself. I love that. And then what's it called? And then so Zelina says, I usually have a big mouth and I run my mouth. This time I'm just ready for the match. And she heads out there. And, this time the Secret Hervis is allowed to be at ringside.
Secret Hervis nailed it on the first shot.
Yeah. And then,
my man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And then that's it, right? The match is fantastic. They're going back and forth.
Match is good, back and forth. Secret Hervis gets involved. And it's funny, they were Joe Tessitore at one point is like, the referee, for lack of whatever, well, I'll call him Joseph Tanaka, is like, was the same one who was here 2 weeks ago when she got counted out. And I'm like, why are we bringing up the referee? And then I'm like, okay, because he's going to be involved. Sure enough, the Secret Hervis get the boot because he saw the chicanery and the tomfoolery. You and I love how the crowd is with him. It's like, you and you're God. And it's like, yeah. And then Zelina Vega's left one-on-one with Chelsea Green. And Zelina Vega just getting the props that she deserves. She's been there for quite some time. And kudos to Chelsea Green for laying down and giving somebody else who was owed their due the way Chelsea was owed her due.
Absolutely.
Let's not forget, Chelsea paid her dues to do what she's doing and to get this. But so has Zelina. And kudos to both of them. Very good match, great storyline, very good underdog storytelling. Dig the fact that Selena was like, I'm quiet now because I'm focused. And you're like, okay, yeah, this is where it's going to be. And so great. I thought it was fantastic. I want to see how they use Selena moving forward in terms of her being like a Rey Mysterio, being that smaller champion, that underdog, now that you have to kind of, I don't want to say find creative ways for her to beat some of the bigger superstars, like Ray beating, Brock Lesnar would have to go down or something. You'd have to find a way to make that work.
Yeah.
So interesting to see how they do that, but props to Selena Vega, proud, especially because, another Latina, Queens, New York, represent, New York in the house. So dig it. Love every second of it.
Super happy. As soon as she won, in my head, I heard, Si te quieres divertir. I was like, yeah.
See, you heard that. I heard, voy a reír, voy a bailar, vivir mi vida, la, 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 la.
Yeah. There you go.
That's it. That's what I heard. But yeah, but it's funny we both heard Latino music in our head. Go figure.
Hey, but no, awesome. Congratulations to Zelina Vega, for real. She deserves it. And she has, our first Queen of the Ring, now the second U.S. Women's Championship, champion. So pretty solid. Awesome.
So
yes.
Very, very proud of her. Very happy for her, especially because I forget how many PLEs it was. I chose her as what I wanted to happen. And you're like, oh, yeah, that would be great because she's due. And it's good to see her get her due.
Exactly. And then we jump into Miz and Carmelo talking about the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
Which you mentioned at the Raw recap as a poignant moment at the end. I thought we had droned on long enough, so I didn't want to keep bothering people. But yes, great Battle Royale.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic, great ending, with Miz giving way for Carmelo to stay in. And then Carmelo and Andrade, last two, they had that great series of matches together. I'm so annoyed that Andrade's not getting more love because he is so good, but so is Melo. It's so tough. But no, it was great. Miz presents Melo with a big Andre the Giant face necklace, and I'm just like, at some point, are we getting a little too if I was Andre's family, I'm like, hey, what the f- are we doing here now? And it's funny because he was like, Melo, to Melo's point, and why I love him was like, when I wear this, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be the 10th wonder of the world. And I'm like, yes, I will sign up for this.
I liked it. I
will sign up for this right now. And then Miz was like, yes. And he was like, Miz was being his hype man. He was being his split star. It was great. And then he's just like, you know what? You inspired me to go out and do something. And he headed out to the ring.
Yes.
To do something. Definitely did something.
Yeah, no, and he comes out and basically complains about not being on the WrestleMania card, but he was the one person that was able to beat, who was it? Was it John Cena or whoever he was talking about? It was just
he beat John Cena to retain the belt at Mania.
Right, and it's typical, Miz behavior, but then, we get that classic Aleister Black song, right? The and I was like, yo.
Everything goes black, and you hear that, and then you get the Silence of the Lambs, Gurney rise up, and there he is with his blue contact in one eye, and just tatted up like crazy, looking shredded, looking good. And just in the ring, getting all the love and adoration from the fans. And then Miz walks up like, what you doing? And then catches just Black Mass to the grill. Just a spinning heel kick to the face. And then Aleister Black sits down next to him. And we have the return of Aleister Black on a night where his wife wins her first gold as a single. They both stood tall, and it was great. It was fantastic.
Yeah. The only thing that I will say about this segment, and then we can move on, is that I feel like he debuted the same exact way. He came out, somebody was talking, he kicked him in the face, and he just sat there. I feel like it felt too familiar.
Well, unfortunately, Aleister Black doesn't really have many things going for him in terms of storytelling right now, so you have to kind of just go with what worked. And Black Mass is something that you can pull out of nowhere. As you said, Black Mass is always around. So yes, I agree with you, formulaic and what have you. But I mean, you got to, sometimes you have to just go to the well and just use it because it makes the most. Sometimes the most obvious thing is just the proper. Was it Occam's razor? Sometimes the these responses the correct one or whatever. Like,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, no worries. And then we shoot to backstage where Bianca's getting interviewed, and she reveals that she had some broken fingers, and she says that she was happy with what happened, and like not happy that she didn't win, but happy with the match that they had,
right.
and then ultimately feels and says that now that focus is done, now she's gonna focus more so on being home and SmackDown, and she got unfinished business at referencing Naomi and Jade about having a broken home there that she needs to attend to. So,
Right.
good little build, or not build,
Yeah.
but like a little.
I mean, you're
planting
saying
something for later.
saying Bianca's back on SmackDown, and you're laying the foundation for what's about to happen.
Exactly. And then you shoot right over to Naomi getting in. I'm sorry, Nia Jax getting into Naomi's face and saying, "Hey, you better get out of my way when it comes to Tiffany Stratton, because that belt is mine." And then Naomi says, "Well, proceed with caution." And I was like, scary.
Yeah, and then she like bit at her. I'm like, okay, all right, what's happening? Okay, all right, Naomi, I get it. But I mean, you're selling it now, and the bodysuit that she had that was like a youth medium, because her booty was sticking out. I was like, damn, girl, like put that thing away. You hurt somebody. But yeah, no, it was a good moment. You had to have it. That way she looks, because even I was like, oh geez, like, so it's kind of like you gave her credibility in terms of like a big superstar in terms of Nia Jax, the Irresistible Force, and being like taken aback by her. So it's a good way to build the credibility for her. I like.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's little segments. That's what I think I like about SmackDown. There's just a bunch of little like sprinkle of good segments.
Right. Well, yeah, because you have 3 hours to fill instead of 2, and you have to kind of move pieces around.
Yeah. Well, since we already spoke about the Drew LA match, then we could instantly jump into Monday Night Replay about Seth and Paul Heyman. But then, really, the creme de la creme of the night is this 30-minute TLC match, which I will say right now is probably the greatest TLC match of this new era, of this Triple H era, this direction that we're going to, when you got the Street Profits, and then you got DIY, and then you got the Motor City Machine Guns, all representing a factor of each match, the chairs, the ladders, the tables, and they put on a classic, because I was glued to the TV. I could not believe half the things that they did. And one of the things that my back is hurting thinking about it right now is the suplex on the chairs facing
up when Gargano was when they were gonna put Dawkins through it, and then Gargano ended up going through it.
Yes, that is one of the things. Besides that, and obviously the speed.
Tez breaking the ladder because Ciampa put and then Ciampa looks up at Gargano and he's like, "Go! I can't fucking move. Like you got to go get the belts because I can't move. I just put this fool. We broke a ladder. I'm here on the ground. Like you got to do this." But I'm giving up a part of the match, but I agree with you. 1,000,000,000%. What a match. Greatest TLC match. I'm going to say not only in this Triple H era, but that I've seen in quite some time. It's been a while since we've done a tag one. Easily the best tag one I've seen since the original TLCs with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. This brought me back to there, and 3 teams that are just studs all the way around. So many dope spots, so many just great moves, reversals. Tez, and once again, I suck because I'm a homer. Man, 4 or 5 spots where I'm like, this guy, man. And I actually a couple spots I felt bad. Twice I felt bad for Alex Shelley because I felt like twice Tez went over the top rope, and one time Alex Shelley came up really holding his wrist, like, oh god. And the second time he came up holding his shin, and I'm like, man, Alex Shelley, he's catching the rawest parts of these landings, man. Like this poor dude, man. But fought through it. Like what a match! 5 stars.
Yes.
10 A+, whatever we use to do it. This was it. This was it.
5-star.
This was it.
10. Yes.
All of it. All of it. What a match. Yes. What a match.
And then you get the spear. You got the Ciampa spear. Dawkins going through him and through the table.
Oh my gosh, going through the table. And then when when the Motor City Machine Guns put Gargano through the
Yes.
table. Oh my god! Oh my
Yes.
god!
So
Even Tessitore was like, "Well, I've seen it all." He's like, well, okay, that's it. I'm good. He's like, I've seen it all. I'm good.
yes.
I don't know what to do. Like,
Yes. And then ultimately, two things. One, it made sense for the Profits to retain because obviously they just got those bad
Right.
boys. So
you gotta build them, because I mean you have to build them because eventually you have to split them.
yes.
And unfortunately, I think this is like the Rockers treatment. I don't think it's going to be as big, but I think when they split, you're going to see Tez ascend. Dawkins will hold better court than Jannetty did,
Yeah.
but you're going to see Tez ascend, and I'm waiting to see it happen because I think he's got star written all over him.
Yeah. For
Like
sure.
like when he came, even when they came out to see him in like that Shawn Michaels type attire,
Yeah.
I was like, yes, with the hat on, the glasses, those like that shit that was kind of stripped down lines and stuff. I was like, that's man, this is my guy, man.
Yeah.
But spots and everything. But yes, to your point, it made sense for them to hold. And please continue. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You don't have to apologize. You're part of the show too, man. What is our show,
I
baby?
feel like I'm cutting you off, man. I don't want to be cutting you
No,
off, you know, because I
no.
got thoughts coming a mile a minute, and
No.
no one ever shuts me up except my wife. So
No, you're good, bro. But man, what a classic. I 1,000% agree with that. What I said and what you said, and just back and forth. It's so good. It was so what I was gonna say was should have been on the Mania card. I mean, I understand we had to put the New Day in there, and maybe the solution here should have been put him on the other night, because that should have been that entire thing should have been on Mania for sure.
I agree with you to a point, because I think you needed this match on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because what this did for SmackDown, what this did for this episode, because not that it was a bad episode, but with Mania being the night, the week prior, having only so long to build up and not wanting to do too much too fast, you don't want to overdo it. So the early parts of the episode seemed a little kind of, I don't want to say slow or dragged on or anything like that, whatever, but you needed this match here as like they brought it home. No matter what you thought of what happened up until then, at the end of the episode, you were like, damn. That's all I can say. Damn, like worth it. So yes, annoyed the Profits weren't at Mania. This match could have definitely been at Mania and then been a match of the Mania contender. Absolutely. But I think this was a call to show we weren't at Mania. We can still put these matches on. We're about to tear the house down at SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because it's the one after Mania. We have to keep everything engaged and everything going. And this was the way to do it. Kudos to the Profits. Kudos to DIY. Kudos to most of the Machine Guns. These boys bust their ass. And this match was stellar in every sense of the word.
Exactly. And it's funny because you called me Viejito earlier, but you know what? You're right, because half the time I was watching that, I sounded like my mother. I was like, I was like, ooh, I was just like, oh man.
There was intense. At one point, I was watching it on my phone at one point, and because I was just going up and down the stairs, I'm like, well, I have to get through this. And as I'm walking up the stairs, I forget what happened, where I literally was like, to su madre, because I was just like, he's dead, like he's dead. No, Montez Ford he's dead. Like there's just nothing about it. Like this is write the man's obituary. Sorry, Bianca, your husband is no longer. But man, like that, man, it was amazing. Like I haven't been blown away in a match like that. I want to say in a long time, but since last week when I saw Io, Bianca, and Rhea do it. But I mean, this was
tremendous momentum.
Just I don't want to say a flawless match, but I mean, in terms of storytelling and everything, I mean, this was just the best thing you could have put out there, and way to bring home that episode of SmackDown. Like, I think it was just genius.
Exactamente, primo. Well, let's talk about final thoughts. Final thoughts about Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. What do you think? Post-Mania. This is why it's important. Post-Mania.
It's tough because you're so excited going into Mania, and you're so excited to see what happens, and then you have 18 hours before it's time to start new.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited about the new ways that are happening right now that I don't want to be disrespectful to what I watched literally a week ago, but I'm amped. And
You're
the,
in.
the new Paul Heyman faction, you know, the new day, the new day, you know, the Becky Lynch heel turn, you know, like Karrion Kross is about to start coming on. You know, Logan Paul's now being this solidified, you know, prick. Like there's so many things. You still have to worry about Penta and the Judgment Day and I think just so much. I'm still quite amped. It's tough because a lot of times you feel like there's a letdown immediately following, you know, Mania, and that's not how I felt this year. Because I remember there was one year Alex, I and our friend and John, shout out Diebold, all went to like 2 or 3 nights of wrestling in a row, and by Monday Night Raw we were like, oh. But that was because it was a different time, and those episodes were kind of like, where now it's like, wow. It was fantastic. So final thoughts are great starts to the new wrestling season. Amazing storytelling, a lot of great callbacks, a lot of great things you can use, a lot of great things you can do. I thought very well done. Not a lot of filler or things that you don't have to do right now because you're starting so many storylines. Well done. Both episodes, fantastic. You know, I can't give them perfect grades, but that last match, TLC definitely gets it. But yeah, no, great episodes. Final thoughts are I'm excited with the way everything is going because everything makes sense and every storyline is a solid one. So I can't wait to see what happens this week.
Yeah. And I 1,000% agree. The excitement, the momentum is still there. And in the words of my lovely wife, right, because she watches with me, she literally said, "Oh crap, I gotta keep watching because it's so good." She knows everything that's going on. She's like, "Ah, man, great! Now I gotta keep watching."
I mean, sometimes there's those storylines. Like I've done that with the casual fan when I was living with my buddy Jason. He was like, "All right, well, I guess now I'm in." You know, like yeah, it happens. So yeah, so you know they're doing something right, especially if your wife is down.
Yeah, exactly. So kudos to WWE. Kudos to Triple H. I know we owe Mark always says it. We give so much props to him, but it's well deserved, man. I mean, the guy really takes his time, and on a grander scheme and the grander scale of things, it's. I think I'm more impressed with the momentum. I think it's been so long since we're talking now, since what 39, 40, 41. You know, and now going into the new year, we're 4th year of momentum, 4th year of still watching.
Well, I mean, especially with us because we said when we started this wasn't going to be a fully recap show, but now it's become a fully recap show because everything's just so dope that you have to.
Yeah,
like you have to. Like, and you're right. Like the momentum is there. It hasn't stopped in 4 years. They've been doing great work the entire time, you know. And I want to shout out Mark, your boy Mark, because my boy Mark, who was our Japanese coalition, when he hit me up and said he was listening to it, he's like, I really love the episode that you guys did with Mark about the Triple H era. He goes, because that's when I started getting back into it. He's like, so I really enjoyed that episode. So Mark, brother of the podcast or whatever we give him,
best friend of the
best friend of the podcast. Sorry, best friend of the podcast. Shout outs to you for helping my homie. You know, just he shouted you out and stuff, so it's good. But yeah, no, it's been great. It's been absolutely fantastic, and it hasn't let up, and I love it. And I think it's also part of why you and I are so quick to do these episodes and want to get them out as fast as possible and do recaps because I mean we want people to know what's happening and we want to talk about it because to your point before in terms of what you and I do, above all else, and I say this with no disrespect to any of our listeners, this is an opportunity for me and you just to catch up and talk wrestling, and I love that because I love it too. You know, it goes. My primo, and I love you to death. I remember I don't want to tell the stories, but you know I helped raise you. Like so, I'm not telling the story, but you know, like so I love that we get to do this, that we have this excuse to do this, and it's great, and I think it's awesome, and the fact that we get to do this more and more often because the storytelling is so good gives us more passion and more fire, and I think it comes out in our shows. To your point before of us just getting better and better.
Yeah, exactamente. Yeah, and just to wrap up my final thoughts, again, I agree. I'm super excited, and I can't wait to see what's in store. You know, leading up to Backlash, what's going to happen afterwards. Again, based on that documentary, I know you don't want to watch it, but the preview did say that the fact that they're planning out a year in advance tells me that hey, they got something going for the full
Of
year,
course.
and
Yeah.
we're just in for the ride, and I'm glad we're in for the ride. We'll have our thoughts, we'll have our opinions for the moment, but we will. I mean, we are always ones to say, "Hey, I hated it at this time, but I love the payoff now."
But
So
exactly,
appreciate
I
it.
mean, you were the first one to say that about the Rhea Ripley triple threat match. You're like, I hated how we got there with Rhea, but if it brought us here, then worth it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, okay, Primo. Well, I thanked everybody in the beginning.
Man.
Go ahead.
I want to thank her. I thanked everyone in the beginning as well, and I just want to continue to keep thanking everyone. And I sound like just a broken record, and I've been droning on for so long. And I apologize to our listeners. I apologize to you, Primo, because sometimes I just get yappy. And today was one of those days, but I think we had a couple good episodes, and I want to thank all of our listeners, our family, our friends, anybody who is just out there, even the casual listener, the person who just this is coming up on their TikTok feed right now for not swiping on it. Thank you. Thank everybody. We appreciate it. We love you guys. We wholeheartedly thank you. And we love what we do when we sit behind these cameras for the hour and change that we do. And we love that you guys enjoy it. Yeah. And so the one thing I will say before Eddie leads me to where I normally go is thanks again, everybody. We truly appreciate it wholeheartedly from the bottom of it.
Absolutely. Seriously. Yeah, what I meant, just to clarify, for those that are listening and not watching, like when you actually get this, when we put this out, rather. Yes, we both did thank everybody. I meant like I started it off the first time. I wanted you to start it off this time. I just want to clarify, not to take anything away from you. You are, yes. I know. But hey, yeah. But to finish that thought, yes, everybody, thank you so much. And we are truly, truly grateful. We are truly, truly appreciative of everyone listening, everybody looking for us, whether that be on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Spotify, on all the platforms now, even platforms that I had no idea that we were even streaming on. I seen that, somehow the RS feed got out there. So, hey, more power to us. Cool. I'm really happy about that.
Thank you.
And we got so much more in stores coming down the pipeline, but I know we keep mentioning that. But we got a lot of exciting things, a lot of exciting conversations to be had, and just so much more. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And we couldn't have gotten to this point without every single one of you guys listening. So thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
That's right.
Eddie Guerrero shake. Eddie Guerrero shake.
I'll do it. I don't know if I'm doing it. Whatever.
There you go. Hey.
I'll shake Phoenix and Penta on my chest. There you guys see it. For those who can't see, I'm wearing a Lucha Brothers shirt.
Yeah. Bueno, como siempre, Primo, you know what to do.
Pues, muchas gracias por todo lo que están aquí, lo que están haciendo por nosotros. Gracias por todo de nuestro corazón. Es algo que es muy importante y algo que podemos estar muy orgullosos de este podcast, que estamos aquí en este tiempo y tener los fanáticos que tenemos. Muchísimas gracias por todo lo que hacen y de aquí adelante nos vemos cuando nos vemos.
Oh, wow. We will see you when we see you. Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.